welcome to Braga and welcome to the Human Power Hub, the Social Innovation Center from the city of Braga. Nice to meet all of you, send the best regards from the city of Braga, and this is the time to invite you to know a little bit more about the Human Power Hub and some organizations that are working with the Erasmus Plus program. Okay, let's go and visit a little bit more about the Human Power Hub. Eric? So let me introduce you to Eric. Eric is the responsible for Conexão Jovem, and we are talking a little bit about his experience with Erasmus Plus projects connected with Impact Youth Work. The idea of this study visit of Inclusion Goes Europe was also to know a little bit about the Human Power Hub and the Social Innovation Center of Braga, but the most important idea is to get in touch with initiatives from youth organizations and from young people from Braga, connecting the thematic of inclusion and the Erasmus Plus program and also the European Solidarity Corps. So can you tell us a little bit about your path with the Erasmus Plus experience? How did you start with Erasmus Plus? Why do you like to work with Erasmus Plus?
My path with Erasmus Plus started back in 2012, where I was a volunteer and coordinating activities and helping with the 2012 European Youth Capital. Back in the day I was president of another organization, and we were involved with some activities we were challenged to be part of. And since then I was intrigued and wanted to know more about the program. Eventually I tried to participate in more and more activities that I felt that were incapacitating myself, making me a more complete person. And in 2015, after the internship, I decided it was time to be more than just a participant and to be part of the program through a group of young people. Today we are much more than that, and we are in 2020, and we have made use of this program so much to create impact in our city, in the cities we've been to, in the cities of our partners, a lot of impact.
What does it mean to go from a youth organization to start with the Impact Startup in Braga?
At a very fast pace we managed to create and build up a structure. From an informal group we already started implementing projects, some of them quite big, and immediately we moved into a formal organization. From there we are also implementing projects, and we are now in this transition where the organization itself is moving into a startup or impact-oriented organization. This is something we have aimed for, and finally in Braga there is a structure that is supporting this happening. I know that many other organizations don't have this chance to move into this startup impact area, and this means a lot to us. This means that we are able to scale the impact we've been creating next to youngsters, now broaden up to all the society in general, and this is what we aim to do for the next couple of years.
Can you tell us a little bit more about this Let Them Be Heard? Do you think that young people need to have a voice and to be listened?
Yes, the name of the project itself goes towards that idea that youth in general needs a voice, society as well needs a voice. Here we were focusing on youth and how youth is tackling these issues. We tried to, through this project, to find a more artistic, a more cultural approach, and this project is basically working with Theatre of the Oppressed to tackle some of the most common issues in society. We involved a lot of youth workers in this project. It was a double activity project that was held here in Braga, and through there we have nearly 50 youth workers that left equipped with the proper guidance and in how to implement themselves these Theatre of the Oppressed methodology. And this was one of the most ambitious projects we had, a double activity project, and curiously enough, even though it was implemented later on, it was still approved as an informal group. And for this I have to say that Portugal National Agency is really believing in informal groups, and this also boosted our morale, let's say, to keep innovating, keep creating more projects, keep creating impact. And this example of project is a really good project that we are really proud of how it went, how the results came so easily, and it went super smooth. Right before COVID hit us, we finalized the activities in February, so I guess everything was aligned for the project to go very smooth.
How do you see impact as results and impact as tackling social problems?
So impact has to be a very broad answer. Impact has to tackle issues and has to produce results, otherwise it is not impact. What we try to do is to make it a broad response and to tackle both at the same time. Of course, with Conexão Jovem, with our projects, we try to firstly and foremost to find the issue behind the problems, and we try to involve youth as much in this problem. We believe youth as this sector should be the one detecting the issues, because they are the ones who will make the most of the future they have ahead. They are the next managers of our future.
We are in Synergia, in the CADI space, is the Center for Inclusive and Sports Arts, and we are visiting this Synergia. It's an organization that have a long story of Erasmus Plus projects, and we are going to visit Ricardo and Rui. So welcome to Synergia. Let's take a look. Okay, Ricardo, you are the president of Synergia. Can you tell us a little bit more about the story of Synergia? How did it become this organization?
Synergia was founded in 2004, and we create a simple space to make different things for youngsters in the city. But in our mind, we only want to make punctual things and sport things like urban art. After we try to develop different projects in Erasmus, for example, and I think we started the second life in our association. After that, we started to see the world in a different way. We have now an open mind because we participate in the different projects in Europe and around the world, and now probably this space can be a special moment to show to our city the work we make during the last years in the Erasmus project. We have to include to be normal persons. We have to make the difference without difference, okay? And we create this space to make normal things, normal life, and to see all the people together, working and playing together, because we believe this is a normal world and a normal day we have to live in the different countries in the world. We have to work here the difference without difference.
To see that what we are doing in small projects, in Erasmus Plus or in small partnerships can be put to create more impact and to create further activities that we didn't believe it was possible at the first time. So this network, where we worked with 5 more organizations, started to be a challenge. And the challenge where we can replicate the different things we do every day. As CADI, where we are, we saw that this experience could be replicated in different countries, create youth academies where we can reach more and more youngsters and include them in the process of believing in themselves, developing their skills, and put their ideas to be a reality. So this is a way that we can reach need youngsters that are lost or are away of their future, and with different strategies, with creativity, with their own difficulties, create a future for them. It was 6 different countries, and we have Greece, we have Spain, we have Italy, Portugal of course, India and Indonesia. So with this territory, we reached several results, and we believe that we made an impact directly in these youngsters. But we wanted more, so we wanted that this project also capacitated the organizations to replicate their own ideas and to share their own ideas and create this academy, the future for youth and the youth for future.
We are now in the headquarters of the Red Cross delegation of Braga, and we are going to visit Wanda and Luís to talk about Key Action 2 project, Play for Change. It's a strategical partnership, and let's go. Let's meet them.
We stand for promoting human dignity and promote also different dimensions which include equal opportunities, the access for young people. For us as Youth Red Cross, of course, we focus on youth. So the idea is to connect the values of the organization with the values of the Erasmus Plus, and it allows for young people to be able to have access to equal opportunities, which sometimes it doesn't happen in our daily life because we are from a specific place, we have lower opportunities, and these kinds of projects allow young people to have access to trainings, to intercultural aspects, to be able to connect with others that in other ways they wouldn't have that opportunity. So it's a perfect match between the values of the Erasmus Plus and the values of the organization to promote social inclusion, to promote the access, the development of young people as citizens, as humans, and that's why it's so important for us. We have the most traditional ways of doing social inclusion work, and we also do it with projects that we have. But bringing the opportunities of Erasmus Plus, you can get out of the box and be able to provide young people with different methodologies, non-formal education methodologies, other strategies that you can provide them if they participate in Erasmus Plus projects. We've also had experiences. We have a social inclusion project, Geração Tecla, and if we can say it provides a social inclusion in a more traditional way that we know it, but we also have the opportunity to involve young people of the project in Erasmus Plus experiences, to participate in trainings, and in case it was a youth exchange. And it provides the connection with innovative tools and ways of working, and young people cooperating with each other, and they being part of the creative process of a youth exchange, for example. They're an active part. And I think that's the way we connect the traditional way of doing social inclusion with the innovative methods that the Erasmus Plus projects bring to the table.
From what I could tell at that time, we were looking for tools or means to work effectively with the vulnerable young people, especially young people that were at the time in detention centers. And we felt this need to work with them, with this particular target group, with an effective tool, something that was engaging and interesting enough that could allow us to achieve our goals and objectives, which are mainly social inclusion. And we were liking these tools, and we felt this need to have something that would be engaging enough and interesting enough to motivate them to participate in our sessions, in our intervention. And at the time, my colleague and friend João Gomes, who was the national coordinator of the Portuguese Red Cross Youth at that time, he had this magic idea of creating a board game. And I think this is where it all started. He was fascinated with creating a board game that could have a pedagogical objective and a social inclusion promoter role. and he started looking for opportunities on how can we create this board game, and he thought about Erasmus Plus and Key Action 2 in particular, which is a branch of the program that allows youth organizations such as ours to really create tools and means of intervention. And this is where the idea came about. It was innovative at the time, I think, picking a board game and use it for inclusion purposes. And we were very happy with the results. The board game, the conception of the board game was mainly came about in a training, a residential training with Joe Cleese, and then the project was about producing materials, implementing it with a pilot test, doing a pre and post test result, and the results were brilliant. We were very happy, and we continued with implementing this board game, whose title is Europelic. Well, sustainability and scaling was a priority right in the beginning of Play for Change. So the tool that we decided to create, we decided that it had to be a tool that was flexible enough so it could grow and develop toward the years. So in the beginning, the game had 11 missions, something like this, and each mission raised awareness on a certain topic, which at the time were the priorities of the EU for young people. As the years came along, we decided to create new missions, so we could keep the tool relevant. So thanks to the flexibility of this tool, we are able to create new teams, new missions that can work on different topics. This way it can continue its relevance with the target group that we work with.